This program is brought to you by thepodcastfactory.com.
Nobody gets to the top. Nobody achieves success, at least not long-term success, without having to overcome challenges, without having to overcome negatives, without having the doubt in their head, and just without having to grow.
Hi, my name is Igor Kheifets, and this is The List Building Lifestyle, the only podcast which delivers cutting-edge conversion strategies from the online trenches straight to your earbuds. Download the transcript of today's episode and all future episodes at listbuildinglifestyleshow.com. I also invite you to grab a free copy of the Wealthy List Builder Survival Guide at listbuildinglifestyleshow.com/survival. And now, once again, it's time to claim your list building lifestyle. Welcome back to another edition of the List Building Lifestyle with your host, Igor Kheifets. And today, my guest is the CEO and founder of SkinnyBodyCare, a company that's been taking the industry by storm for the last 5 years, Ben Glinsky. Ben, how you doing?
Good.
All right, Ben, so I know you're a busy guy, so I want to just dive right in and ask you the number one question, which I think is on the mind of every single person who's been in this industry for a while and who can't succeed yet. And that is, how come in an industry that's all about money, that's all about financial success and all about lifestyle and freedom, how come this industry almost no one makes money? How come everybody struggles, everybody complains, and very few people become what you'd call leaders who are able to make a six-figure income?
It's really no different in any industry. I mean, if you look at any industry on the planet, you've got about 5% of the people who are making money and the rest of them really are not. And so it's just no different. It's just human nature. The people who work, the people who go for it, the people who want it, who have ambition, who have drive, who stick with it and stay long enough to learn exactly what they need to do and build up an organization, build up a team, build up their mindset are the ones that have success. Unfortunately, most people quit before that happens, which is why they fail.
So what kind of habits or what kind of mindsets do you see that all successful top earners share?
That's a good question. Because there are a lot of different ways that top earners get to where they are top earners. You know, some have some get there just because of the mindset. I think some people kind of have that entrepreneurial DNA as part of them and kind of have an advantage that way. And I'll be totally honest, I think I'm one of those people. I think that some people learn the nuts and bolts. Some people are just very, very diligent and continue to follow through and are not necessarily as strong or as smart as some people, but they make up for it in work ethic and attitude and ambition and drive. And so it really depends on the leader. But I think, one thing that all leaders have in common is they don't quit. They believe that they can get to where they want to get to. They believe they can achieve their goals. They believe that they can accomplish what they want to accomplish. And they continue to stick with it. They continue to drive and push forward and continue to learn, continue to grow, never give up, always have that belief and have that focus on the goal. And that's how they get there.
Which is kind of difficult to do, right? Because oftentimes we are in the dark. We're moving towards a goal. We have no idea how to get there. We only see the next step in front of us and we're sort of guessing. And we have no proof that it's going to actually come to fruition. Like we have to put this belief in before the results show up.
That's absolutely right. And yeah, I mean, there's hurdles, there's obstacles, there's challenges in everything that you're trying to accomplish. And if you let those hurdles get in your way, you look at them as problems and reasons not to be able to succeed, that's what's going to keep you from succeeding. I look at them, and a lot of successful people look at them as challenges or opportunities to achieve more, to learn more, to grow more, to get over that hurdle, to get over that obstacle, to push through that challenge and succeed. Because yes, there are always going to be those challenges. There are always going to be those doubts, those mindsets, and you don't always know you're going to get there. You just got to believe. You've just got to look at people who have done what you're trying to do, know that it's possible, know that it can be done, and just continue to push through. Some people have to go through longer obstacles, bigger obstacles, more obstacles than others to get to where they want to go. Some people, it's just going to be a few, but nobody gets to the top. Nobody achieves success, at least not long-term success, without having to overcome challenges, without having to overcome negatives, without having the doubt in their head, and just without having to grow. And that's why the people who have the most success and the most long-term success, because I think some people have short-term success and then they go back to not success, if you will. And we see that a lot, unfortunately, in this industry. And I believe that's because they didn't have the mindset before they had the money. And so I believe if you're going to have long-term success, you've got to have the mindset first. It's not going to happen the other way. You've got to know and act and believe that you are there and that you are successful and will be successful before you get there. It's not the other way around where you'll say, okay, I'm going to be strong, I'm going to be powerful when I achieve success. It's I'm going to do it now, and that's how I'm going to get there.
So what would you say then is some of the action steps that a brand new person to the industry, someone who's a rookie, maybe somebody who's been failing for a year or two, like what can we do in order to gain that confidence? Because obviously, in order to build confidence in our success before the success actually shows up, we have to take some sort of action which creates that feeling, which creates that vibration, if you will. I'm not sure if you're into metaphysics and the law of attraction, but there's the theory that you become and you make what you are, not what you think about. In other words, like whatever you attract with your core. And I honestly believe that, having connected with so many leaders out there, you can always sense the core of each and every leader, that it's different to what a unsuccessful person puts out. So do you perhaps, can you suggest to our listeners, what are some action steps we can take which, do not involve monetary success, but that in turn give us the confidence in our ability to achieve?
Right. Yeah, everyone has different strengths and everyone has different weaknesses. And a lot of people tell you to focus on your weaknesses to make them into strengths and to work on those weaknesses to overcome them. I believe you need to do that, but I believe first you got to do the opposite and really focus on your strengths. Do what you're good at to get that head start, to start building your business, to start growing and learning and doing the things that you're good at. And at the same time, study personal growth, study personal development. And right now, more than ever, I mean, when I was first getting started almost 20 years ago now, I'd have to go to seminars and read a lot of books and all this stuff to get the information and buy and invest in a lot of material. Now you go to YouTube. I mean, you could listen to pretty much any Tony Robbins training, any Robert Kiyosaki training. I know you interviewed him. Just so many top leaders in the industry, success coaches. You've got all of this information for free at your fingertips. I mean, there is absolutely no excuse. You don't have to spend hundreds of dollars going to a seminar or thousands of dollars on materials and books and CDs and just different training material and packages and programs. You've got all of this information right at your fingertips. So again, start out with your strengths. When I started, I was very shy. I was very quiet, but I had a very strong work ethic. And I knew that I could outwork anyone, even though I didn't have a lot of social strength as far as being able to make friends and make connections and build relationships. But I would follow a script and I would get on the phone and I would hammer it and I'd make more calls than anyone because that was my strength. I had that drive. I had the ambition. I had the work ethic. Some people are the opposite. Some people don't have that, but they're very good at making connections or they're very good at going out and selling product. Whatever you're good at, I believe you should focus on that first and continue to build that up, because just because you're good at it doesn't mean you're perfect at it. You could always get better and better at everything. And at the same time, build up your weaknesses, learn the different mindsets and the different strengths and things that you lack. And if that is confidence, for example, search YouTube for Tony Robbins building confidence, something like that. And you're going to find 100 different videos from different people out there, leaders, motivators, success coaches, trainers who have been through that, who have taught thousands or millions of people all over the world how to overcome those challenges. And that's really my advice. Focus on your strengths, build up your weaknesses, become really a full piece of solid awesomeness, and you're going to get there. But quite honestly, you're not going to get there if you don't work on yourself. This industry, success, any industry, is all about personal growth, personal development. You've got to build up your confidence. You've got to build up your self-esteem. You've got to build your mindset. You've got to be strong inside so you can have those strong relationships, strong connections, not worry about what other people think of you, not have to say yes and try to please everyone all the time. It's good to say no. It's good to know, what's not a valuable investment in your time. And to be able to do that and have the confidence to do those things and to say no to opportunities is just as strong as saying yes to opportunities. But it all comes with building that personal development. So really your first 2 years in this industry, if you're brand new and have never read a Tony Robbins book or listened to a CD or anyone else, the first 2 years, you've got to focus on that. And I truly believe that you're not going to have success until you have success inside and build up that confidence, that belief level, and that just yourself personally before you have the success.
Yeah, because if you don't believe in yourself, why would anyone else, believe in you? Like, if you can't sell you on you, why would someone join your business? Because at the end of the day, they don't really join a business for the most part, especially in the industry that I'm in, right? Because most businesses in my industry are all about, the kind of commissions you're making. So you're kind of paying the company for the company to allow you to make money. There's really no product besides the training. And, it's people who join other people. And so if you don't carry yourself with that confidence, if you don't project that confidence to the outer world, then, there's not going to be anyone who would want to kind of hook up with you because they look for it. Because the people who want to hook up with you, they need that. They don't have the confidence, so they want to tap that in you. And I've seen it time and time again. Now, your advice about getting on a self-improvement journey is absolutely brilliant. You're absolutely correct when you say that this industry is more about self than it is about other people, at least for the first couple of years when you're just getting started. Because, after being in this industry for almost a decade now, I've noticed that most people that don't succeed, they are just lacking that, they lack this self-responsibility element. Something like, you know what I mean, Ben? Like, when I honestly believe that we're to blame for everything that's good and bad that happens to us.
I agree.
So whenever I meet a person with that mentality where they want to kind of point a finger and say, my life sucks because of this guy, or my life sucks because of that thing happening to me when I was a kid, or because I wasn't born in America and I was born in Israel, or because I was born Russian and Jewish and not, Catholic and, Nigerian, whatever. Like, that doesn't get you places. It's your toolkit, your inner toolkit, which you build along the way as you kind of improve, what allows you to become a person that makes other people around them feel really, really good.
Exactly. And it draws people to you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You become a magnetic personality, if you will, right?
Yep.
Now, Ben, earlier you mentioned the challenges, right? And so successful people see failures. What an unsuccessful person calls a failure, a successful person calls it a challenge or a lesson. And we all know the famous quote by Earl Nightingale, I think, each and every challenge brings a seed of an equal opportunity, right?
Yep.
So do you mind sharing what was the biggest challenge on your way to becoming a tremendous success?
That's a good question. There wasn't one thing. There's always, as you grow and as you build and as you improve and have more and more success, quite honestly, the challenges get bigger and bigger and bigger. And I think the universe puts those in place for you to see if you are ready to get to that next level of success, to get to that next step. So quite honestly, the more successful you are, the more challenges you have and the bigger challenges you have, but the more armed you are and the more capable you are of overcoming those challenges. So to answer your question, I mean, early on, it was my mindset. It was that, I'm 22 years old trying to build a business in this industry, trying to teach people how to retire when I haven't made a penny and I'm dead broke, about to file bankruptcy. And I'm trying to teach people how to get out of debt and make money. I had this conflict in my head that how am I going to do this when I'm not even doing it myself? And so that was a challenge. And that was just constant repetition of learning and growing and developing. And I mean, every time you got into my car, you'd hear Tony Robbins' voice playing in my CD player. Every time any of my friends got in my car, they wouldn't even want to come in my car because they knew they were listening to Tony Robbins. So oftentimes they'd drive. So that was actually a benefit. But, as things started to grow, we'd have challenges like losing merchant accounts or getting kicked out of countries, or big leaders would quit. We'd have to terminate someone, lawsuits, just different things like that. And, those are all what some people would consider obstacles or reasons to quit, reasons to fail, reasons that they're not going to succeed. And I look at them as opportunities to dominate, to get over this hump, to get over this challenge and through it as hard and as fast as I can and absolutely dominate it to get to that next level. And that's what I believe successful people do. And again, the more successful you are, quite honestly, the bigger the challenges that you're going to face. So if you can't even handle your challenges now, you're not going to be able to handle them when you succeed. So you've got to look at your challenges now as opportunities to show the universe that you can do this, that you can handle it. Because the universe isn't going to give you something that you can't handle. But if you show that you can't, then you're not going to get more. You're not going to get more opportunities to develop and to grow. So, that's really the universe just seeing if you're ready to take it to the next level, to take it to the next step and to get past that hump. And each level, each step, each challenge, each hurdle, each obstacle is just a stepping stone to get higher and higher and higher and higher on that level of success, whatever that is for you. And just keep battling through, keep making it happen. And that's how it works.
Ben, they say the life, like the average day in the life of an entrepreneur is like a roller coaster. Like you go up and you're super happy, super pumped up, you're super thankful for living such a great life. Then some, shit hits the fan and you're like down, you're depressed and you want to cry. And, I can tell you from personal experience, that's exactly how I used to live my life until my coach, my mentor, Tom Beal, kind of shared with me a couple of concepts which I didn't consider. And since then, even the biggest of challenges, which for me, again, losing merchant accounts for sure, getting kicked out of an autoresponder, like with a list of 100,000 people, that's big for a list builder, right? It's because I can lose my income this way. I started seeing these challenges, these problems, which used to upset the hell out of me. I saw those as road signs, almost like approaching an intersection and something happening. Now I know where I need to turn, because that's where the journey continues, if you will. And even in the last 6 months, I can think of several situations where challenges turned into big breakthroughs for me and my company. But it wasn't an overnight switch, right? It took me a while to get that. It took me a while and, several major failures in my life and my business to really understand that. Now, I actually had a really smart question to ask you, but I forgot. So I'm going to ask you a stupid question instead. So you were trying to teach other people how to become financially prosperous while not being, financially prosperous yourself, which sounds like 99% of, cases in our industry, which I am no exception, by the way. I was trying to teach people how to build a list and make money with that list when I was making less than $100, a month with my own list. So I get where you're coming from, and I'm sure almost every single listener listening to this episode right now probably understands that. So what's the major mindset shift that you feel you went through, which as soon as that happened, you started earning money?
That's a great question. I think that it was that I would see people who I felt I was better than, stronger than, and could just beat in anything, having more success than me. And I would say, if that guy can do it, I can do it. And I guarantee you there's always someone out there that you can look at, that you can find. And I see this in company owners now. I'm like, how did these guys build this company to $20 million a month? These guys are clowns. If they could do it, we could absolutely dominate this industry. So you can always find someone who you see as having more success than you and just say, look, if this guy can do it, if this lady could do it, I could definitely do what she's doing. I could get to that level. And that's really as simple and small and easy as that sounds. That's really what it took for me. And that doesn't necessarily mean that's going to work for you. You've just got to find something, some reason, some little hint of belief that will help you overcome that. And for me, that's what it was. I would see people who I thought were morons, who I thought were idiots. And, some of them, quite honestly, were. Some of them surprised me. They were hard workers. They deserved every penny that they've earned and more. But I just, I saw them and I'm like, look, if this guy can do it, this guy is weird. He's just not what I envision as a successful person. And he's making 10 grand a month. If he could do it, I could do it. So that's what it took for me. And that's, because everyone has that at the beginning. They're like, how am I going to recruit someone who's going to build big when I'm not even making any money yet? And you've just got to believe and find a reason, know that it's possible, and just find something that's going to get you to overcome that.
Ben, I noticed that a lot of people kind of intentionally and unconsciously, right, which one does not cancel out the other. You can be unconscious about intentionally holding yourself back. Lots of people hold themselves back from financial success because they don't necessarily give themselves permission. So what you're saying, what I'm hearing, right, based on what you just said, is that by seeing other people who were not, I'm not going to call them inferior, but let's just say they were not superior to you in their ability, skill set, mindset, etc., that gave you the belief that, wait a second, it can't be that hard if they are doing it. So you kind of gave yourself the permission. You said, okay, Ben, I allow you to achieve because they obviously got it, and I'm better or no worse than them, so I deserve it too.
That's a great way to put it. You're giving yourself permission. I like you, Igor. You're a good dude.
Thank you, Ben. I like you too, man. So I guess the lesson for our listeners is, ever since you've been a kid, right, you've been told what to think, what to eat, what to wear, what kind of grades you're supposed to get in school. And so we are conditioned to seek approval. And I see it now. I mean, I got a 4-year-old daughter, and whenever she does something right, or whenever she has a win, if you will, right, we do the little winner dance. So I'm trying to anchor the winner dance because I want her to feel like a winner at all times, which means then she'll be able to do, so much in her life, and anything she wants, she can achieve that, because it's a matter of belief. And I honestly believe that. So online, whenever I talk to the members of my VIP club, or just clients, or just people who hit me up on Facebook, and we get chatting, I notice that so many people, they're waiting for someone to give them permission, whether be it myself or a circumstance or whatever. A lot of people just wait for something to happen. A lot of people put leaders and gurus on the pedestal, and I do it myself. When I was interviewing Robert Kiyosaki, man, I put that guy on such a huge pedestal, you can't even see him. But that's what we do. We put other people who are just flesh and blood, just like us, on the pedestal, believing that they're superior to us in every possible way, and that they are worthy of that success and we're not. And so it's not until we go through tons and tons of crap, until we get bitten by the saber-toothed tigers, like my friend Ben Settle says, until we go through certain type of experiences, challenges, and lessons, is that we learn to experience the shift in our mind that says, man, enough is enough. I deserve to be successful. I've been struggling for a long enough time to understand why I'm not successful, and it's about time I finally go and get it. And then it clicks, right? So we're not talking about mechanics, we're just talking about the mindset. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think you're right. People have been programmed to listen to rules, to follow their parents, their teachers, society, the law. I mean, everything their whole life. And you've got to get out of that mindset, number one, but you've also got to recognize that most people are in that mindset. And for lack of a better word, take advantage of it. If you know that people need to be told what to do, tell them what to do. Buy this product. Join this business. You need to do this. And they're used to being told. When you ask people questions and have them make decisions when they've never made a decision in their life other than what to eat for dinner and where to go, what bar to go to, people can't make decisions. So when you help them, when you ask them a question, are you ready to sign up, or do you want to do this? And they're like, well, I don't know, because they don't want to make the wrong decision. But when you help them make a decision, because they've been told every decision that's important in their life, how to do it and when to do it, and exactly what to do, what that decision is, you can help them make the decision by saying, hey, sign up. This is what you need. This is what you've been looking for. This is what is going to help you change your life and really get you out of this rut that you've been in. This is what's going to help you get out of debt. This is what's going to help you get off your job and achieve your dreams. Let's get started today. We'll put together a game plan and make it happen. And, do you think that's going to work better, or do you want to sign up? If you leave it up to them, because people can't make decisions and because they're not at the level that you're at now, they need to be told what to do. So recognize both of those sides, that you need to step up and make your own rules, but also recognize that most people are living in other people's rules and need to be told what to do, and let that help you in your recruiting, in your business building, and really in everything that you're doing.
Yeah. And, what you're saying is, I kind of have a term for that. It's bending reality. So you can actually bend your own reality because the reality you're living in right now is sort of like the Matrix. You've been told what to believe, and you can shift that, and you can, kind of make it work for yourself and believe only what is useful to you. And you, as a marketer, as an influencer, you will have to bend other people's realities because they live in a shitty world. I assure you, someone who's not making enough money to cover their bills and somebody who wants a change is living in a shitty world, which is the reason why they want to make a change in the first place, which is the reason why they are great leader material, like why they're going to stick. I started out in this business when I was 19 years old and my life was shit. And that was the reason why I was so driven to build a great life for myself and my family, which I was able to fortunately do. And that's where people don't quite understand the industry, right, Ben? They look for the rich guys. They look for the rich folks that are supposedly are able to give them money without hurting, if you will. But it's the people that hurt the most that become the greatest team members, at least in my experience.
It's really like you said before, it's the people who take responsibility for where they are and take responsibility for changing it are the ones that have potential to be a leader, to be successful, and to make things happen. The ones that point fingers and blame and say they're in their situation because of other people, other situations, other whatever, and nothing is ever their fault, they're never going to be successful. So it's more that than their situation, because a lot of people are in that situation and they recognize it's their fault and they're ready to get out. A lot of people are in the exact same situation, but they blame other people. They're not going to change.
Yeah. And this is big, right? Because it's not the actual situation, like you say, it is the attitude they project towards it. So, Ben, I know you're super, super busy. So one last question, which I think will provide tremendous benefit to our listeners. And that is, what are the 3 books you recommend every marketer, whether internet marketer, network marketer, or biz op marketer, whatever you want to call it, should read that you believe will contribute to their success?
Yeah, I think anyone who wants to have success, whether it's in internet marketing, network marketing, online marketing, or real estate, whatever, insurance, whatever kind of business that you want to start, I think it all starts with mindset first before necessarily tools and nuts and bolts stuff. So The Magic of Thinking Big is my first recommendation. And that, I can't remember who the author of that book is, but The Magic of Thinking Big. It was written a long time ago, but still very, very relevant today. I think it's awesome. I've read it a couple times. I'm looking at my library here. That one for sure. What else do I have here?
Man, I love the fact that you're in the room with a library. That seems to be a common thread between all top earners. Probably not me, but because I use a Kindle, I don't have a library. But for the most part, anyone who's tremendously successful, they're like got a huge library, huge wall full of books, and as a rule, 80% of the books are the freaking same. Like The Magic of Thinking Big is definitely, something that keeps coming up all the time. I'm sure there's going to be, the all-time bestsellers like Think and Grow Rich and, Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Think and Grow Rich is good. I think I wouldn't put it in my top 3, but definitely worth reading. I think, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie is a very good one.
Yes.
And I'm looking at The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy, which is relatively recent, which I think is a very good book as far as taking action on your goals and what those small actions every day can mean towards your long-term success. So I'll make that number 3.
Okay, so just to make sure everybody gets the names, it's The Magic of Thinking Big, it's the, you said How to Win Friends and Influence People, and The Compound Effect.
Yep.
All right, sweet. So, guys, this has been Ben Glinsky, the CEO and founder of SkinnyBodyCare. If you want to find out more about his company, by the way, and how you can make money with it and become a member, just Google SkinnyBodyCare. You'll find plenty of information. They've been featured on TV, newspapers, all over the internet. I think you guys are now in like 100 and something countries or something like that. It's just, crazy success and people making money. Just get on YouTube, watch a couple of Google Hangouts. You'll get the gist of it. These guys know what they're doing. So, Ben, thank you so much for taking the time to do this. I appreciate you, brother. And until next time we talk, have a good one.
Yeah, you're very welcome. It was fun. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for listening to The List Building Lifestyle. Make sure to subscribe on iTunes or Google Play to never miss an episode. Because who knows, just one conversion tactic we share on the show might double your list and double your business. download the transcript of today's episode and all future episodes at listbuildinglifestyleshow.com. And don't forget to claim your complimentary copy of the Wealthy List Builder Survival Guide at listbuildinglifestyleshow.com/survival. This is Igor Kheifets, and until next time we talk, have a good one.
This is the podcastfactory.com.